Alright, and we're back again with episode, what are we up to now? Five? Five of this prattling with prattling about platinums. Futuridium EP Deluxe. Alright, now here's a game we have to talk about. So, I have done this game for my channel. There are 50 levels in it. So it says finish zone 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or reach the end of the final zone. Each zone has 10 levels, 5 zones, 50 levels. Then there's finish classic mode on a single credit, perform a 100 cube chain, score 30 in Flappy Iridium, which is basically like Flappy Bird. Each point is given once you've passed an obstacle, so that one was relatively tricky. Find and destroy all the neg cubes, that's just like sort of secrets in certain stages. And then you get 10 medals, 50 medals, 100 medals, and 150 medals. Now, the reason I do not have the trophy, you are the best, I'm going to explain. First of all, there are 50 levels. In each level there are 3 medals. That gives you the 150 medals, right? So you have to get all the medals in all the stages. The way to get a medal in a stage is, there are the 3 different requirements. There's, first requirement is simply finish the stage. Second requirement is to shoot all the cubes, or yeah, completely get all the qubits, I think it's called qubits, in every stage. And then the third medal is to beat the stage under a certain time. So kind of like speedrun the stage. Now, the reason that I don't have this trophy is because it's a little bit glitched. But the tricky thing is the trophy itself is not glitched. It's actually the game that is not coded properly. So the way it works is, in order to get the 3 medals, you need to do those 3 tasks. But you can... the way the game works is you can complete every single level by collecting all the qubits and beating it in the time limit, and then obviously just finishing it in general. You can do that on every single level. You can get all the qubits and still beat it in the time level, except still beat it within the specific time for every single level except for 2, right? And so what ends up happening is that 2 levels can't be completed under the certain time limit and with the qubits at the same time. Now I know what you're thinking, why not just get the qubits on one run and get the time on the other run? That doesn't work either. The only way that the game registers that you have all 3 medals is if you get all 3 at the same time. Now, I created a Twitter just to post to Mixed Bag Games about when they were going to patch this. They still have yet to patch it. The only reason that people actually have this trophy is because Futuridium EP Deluxe was released as a limited time only game with a small box. Well, like I guess it's the same size as the other PlayStation 4 games boxes, but it was a limited run game, and that CD or the DVD or whatever that was in that case had the patch already. But for some reason they haven't released it, to everyone else who got the game through PS Plus, even though they said they would, I think in August of 2015 or 2016, I can't remember when it was, but they said they would, they never did, and they continued making other games and all that. So that trophy is basically completely locked to me, because the limited run game doesn't exist anymore. I'd have to borrow it off someone. And the patch hasn't been released, so I don't know. Here's hoping that they eventually release the patch. I don't feel like tweeting them again. I tweeted them twice, like in once and then sort of once again in a month later. But I don't care about it anymore. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I can't get 100% on my profile anyway, so it is what it is. But it is kind of annoying because it was the one, like, it's not that hard and it's a gold trophy. It would take me like 2 minutes to do it if they just released the patch, but they didn't. And then I have the world first. This is a wait, hang on. Yeah, it was a world first PS4 trophy, this one here. So this is my world first PS4. There's one player, I think his name was, oh my god, I actually remember, Subaki Calamity. He got it on the PS Vita first. So he was the first person in the world to get that trophy, and I was the first person in the world on PS4 to get the trophy. And that's a pretty cool one, because I didn't have any world firsts, so to kind of get at least a world first on PS4 was pretty awesome. I like this game though, it was really fun. It took a little while, looks like it took a couple days, a week or whatever. It took me about a week to get this one here, from the beginning of playing the game, just over a week it looks like. But yeah, it was fun to get, and there's a video of how to do it on my channel, which a lot of people have used, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Futuridium, Good game. Wow, I spent 5 minutes talking about that. Super Exploding Zoo. Kind of weird, kooky game. You need someone to help you get the trophies. I actually helped a viewer once do this. It looks like I did it all on the same day. Oh yeah, I remember that day. That's crazy. I remember that day. I think it was a Thursday actually. Someone wants to check what the 25th of June was on 2015. I'm pretty sure it was a Thursday, just because I think I had takeout at the end of the day, and I'm pretty sure I had takeout like when I was doing it, and we generally have takeout on Thursdays, so I think that's what it was. Yeah, you just need someone to help you with. I can't remember which one it is, but I might say it. Yeah, defeat an opponent using rhinos, pandas, force a draw in versus mode with only one animal left, survive your own rampage, then defeat your opponent on their rampage. Yeah, there's a few. Some of them, the trophies are a little glitchy. You have to do them multiple times until it actually pops. But yeah, it's okay. It's a funny game. It's a little funny game, short game. Resogun. This game's tough, man. Some of these DLC challenges are really hard, and some of the original ones are hard as well. But this game is all about just like constantly practicing. Like the more you play it, the better you will get. Like complete arcade mode without losing all lives on experience difficulty. That's pretty hard. Save all the humans is pretty hard. I'm pretty sure this game took me a very long time to do. Really? These dates don't make sense. I feel like it took me years. Okay, well I did that one months later. 2015. 2015. Okay, so overall it took me about like a year. 28 to 2014. 18, 5, 2015. Yeah, so about a year. But some of these are really hard, but it is a great game. Housemarque made this. Very, very good game. I think they're the same creators of the one I mentioned before, and I can't remember what it's called, Dead Nation. So yeah, they made some good stuff. Outlast. Oh boy, this game is fun. Like, this game was legitimately fun. One of the few sort of newer survival horror games that's really quite scary, and like if you haven't watched a playthrough of it or whatever, it's fun to do. It's not very difficult. This one's pretty hard. Finish the game in insane mode, but it's not that bad. You just have to know how to kind of like speedrun it again. Speedruns are such good ways to like if you ever have to conquer a difficulty, look at a speedrun and it'll always help you sort of figure out how to skip areas that are skip or get past areas that, you know, would otherwise give you a lot of trouble. But Outlast is a great game, and the Whistleblower DLC is quite meaty for like a DLC. That's probably a poor choice of words. I mean, what did it take me? It looks like it took me hours. 2 in the morning. Yeah, so I think I did that in the morning, or in the very wee hours of the morning, and then I did it sort of at the end of the day. But yeah, Outlast is a great game. I'm actually I want to play Outlast 2, but I don't think I'll be playing it for quite a while. But Outlast 2 is definitely another game that I'm looking forward to playing at some point. Great game, really great game. The Playroom. Oh god, this is a silly thing. I actually have, no joke, I have I guess it's obvious if you know what the Playroom is. I have the camera that comes with the PS4, like the PS4 camera thing. I bought it purely to finish this game. I bought a peripheral to finish a freaking game. Yes, I did. And I've never used it ever again. This game was funny because there was a trophy in it. I can't remember which one it was. Give yourself and 3 other people a mask to wear all at the same time. Might have been that. There was a trophy that required you to have... So you needed like 4 people, right? And I had me and 2 other people. But I didn't have a 4th. And then I realized that the way that the camera was reading people was just via the face, but it couldn't work out like the 3D-ness, I guess if you want to call it that, of a person's face. So what I did was I was like, all right, like all I need is another face. So I was like, I know, like we just need to like get a laptop and type in someone's name and get a face. Like that's all I need. And I was like, I know, Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know why Jennifer Lawrence, but I was like, Jennifer Lawrence. And then, so I typed her name in, boom, there's her face on the screen, on the laptop. and then the camera starts finding it, and it actually read it, and I was like, yes, I got her face to be recognized, and I managed to get well, it doesn't have a platinum, but I got all the trophies because of that. So I always attribute this one to everyone that helped, plus Jennifer Lawrence. So yeah, it was silly, but it was fun. I hope that PlayStation 4 camera comes in handy one day. Like, I don't know, maybe it will. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Big deal. Child of Light. Very weak on the trophies, but it's a very small game, so I guess that's to be expected. Well, small. It took me like 3 or 4 days to get through. It's long, but it's short. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's a good game. A lot of people make a lot of fuss about it. I think it's good. I don't think it's fantastic, but I think it's up there. It's sort of like an 8 out of 10 for me, rather than a 9.5 to 10 out of 10, which everyone else gives it. I don't know why. Just that's kind of my general opinion about it. I remember it being not a lackluster game, but just an 8 out of 10. And 8 out of 10 is not bad. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I think a lot of people like this one, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. Definitely a lot of people like the naval combat in this game, which I think was great too. There was one really, really annoying trophy, and I know which one it is when I see it in this game. It was called... Sharing is Caring? I think it's that one. Let me have a look at the rest. Yes, Sharing is Caring. Okay. This trophy was very difficult to get. It says share each type of discovery with friends once. So I think the way this worked was Ubisoft decided that we should make the campaign, or sort of the single player experience, more communal by adding certain events in the game. I can't remember what they were. Like, one was like a treasure chest, one was like defeating like a legendary beast or something in the water, or finding like a really big ship or something like that. And we should like make it more communal, make the single player experience more communal by having those things be shared amongst like groups of players, right? But because of that, this trophy existed, and it became like, look at this, 28th of the 1st, 12th of the 5th. Like, it took so long. I had to go back and try and like figure out how to do. I got everything in the same month, and then that one was such a pain to get. So you have to, like, if you press, what is it, options, search internet, like you'll really need to search the internet for help with that one, because it's pretty much random, and it took me a very long time to get. But the rest of the game is worth it, which is nice. Huh? Oh, wow. Well, there was a trophy that... It must have been one of the multiplayer ones then. Yeah, this one here. Play on every game mode and use every ability and ranged weapon in multiplayer. Oh, once in multiplayer. So 9/10/2014. Yeah, 9/10/2014. So yeah, I think that one... It probably took me a long time, just simply because I... didn't keep track of what I was using. So, oh yeah, and this one too, Resogun 55 in multiplayer. It's a long game. Like, this, to get the platinum for this is pretty hard. You can see it's an Assassin's Creed platinum, which would normally be easy, but 0.5% of players got the platinum. Wow. So yeah, it is a fun game, but the platinum is pretty tricky. This one's pretty hard as well, because it's Blackbeard's Wrath, and, well, Freedom Cry is okay. Yeah, Freedom Cry is okay because it's all single player stuff, but Blackbeard's Wrath requires you to actually be pretty good at the game. Playing as the Jaguar, be the highest scoring player of a domination game session. Playing as Blackbeard, perform an acrobatic kill and a gun kill in less than 10 seconds. That one's okay. Playing as the Orchid, block 10 abilities from opponents with sabotage. I can't even remember that one. And kill player using a lift that has been trapped with booby trap. That's a tricky one as well. Yeah, it took me a little while to get these, especially the Jaguar one. That was the hardest, but I got there in the end. So if you're going to play Black Flag, be warned that the platinum is quite difficult, and the DLC packs are pretty tough as well. Another Buzz game, not really much to say about that. Bought it on a whim, never finished it. Sofa vs Sofa, My Buzz Games. Another Sofa vs Sofa. I think the top one was playing Sofa vs Sofa, and this is winning Sofa vs Sofa, and then there was one more here, I can't remember what this hidden trophy is. fact, that might be the only hidden trophy that I have, well, apart from stuff that I haven't completed yet in my whole profile. I don't know. Ollie 2, welcome to Ollywood. This game was hard, and you can tell that by the fact that 0.1% of players only have this one here, these ones here. This game was really, really tough, but interestingly, the more well, I say interestingly, but it's pretty obvious when you do this for a long time. You really, really only need to practice. That's all. I mean, I could go so far as to say that's all anything is in the entire world in life. It's just all about practice. I remember like not really knowing what rad mode was until I finally unlocked it, and by the time I got there, like I looked at it, I was like, I can't remember what it is, by the way. I think it's like maybe you have to finish it without dying or whatever. Like you have to do the whole stage in one long combo. I think that's what it is, something like that. And I was like, oh my god, like how am I going to do that, you know? And I found that out sort of like halfway through my normal game playthrough, and I was like, how am I ever going to do that? And then by the time I finished the normal game and I got to rad mode, I was like, oh, this is like simple. And I was just completing stages left, right, and center. And yeah, it wasn't really that hard. I mean, beat every challenge. I'm trying to figure out like where. So I got like these 3 all in a row. Finish any level. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be like. What about the last one? Complete every level and unlock Titan Sky. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say exactly when I, did everything, or how long it took me from completing all the new game levels and then going to rad mode. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't that hard. It just came to me after a lot of practice. But I like this game. It was really, really good and fun to play. Probably wouldn't play it again, but definitely fun to play the first time. DMC Devil May Cry. Oh boy, this is a polarizing game. A lot of people didn't like the new Dante. A lot of people probably didn't like the game. I'm the opposite. I love this game. This game was fun, and I would 100% play it again. In fact, I thought about playing it again like several years ago. Look at that. I haven't played it for just over 4 years. And yeah, I love it. It's very, very tough. Like this game requires, again, a lot of mental dexterity. There's a lot of practice involved. There's so many button combinations to learn. And you have to kind of like make sure that your muscle memory is right, and the only way to do that is to constantly play over and over and over again. It seems to be a bit easier than some of the other games with the 1.6% platinum. I think all of this, I don't think it has any, there's no multiplayer or anything, which is nice. So it's just kind of like learning the game and going and doing it over and over and over again until you get it right. I thought it was a great addition to the Devil May Cry series. It looks like we're going to get another Devil May Cry. I think Devil May Cry 5 with the sort of the original cast. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. But I think this game was really, really fun. I absolutely adored it. Virgil's Downfall, I think, didn't that take me a while? Let's see. It took me 3 days. I've been saying this like the whole time. Didn't that take me a while? No, it took me 3 days. Virgil's Downfall is basically just like a shortened version of DMC, and you play with Virgil, which is Dante's brother. And, it has like half the chapters, and then you just have to beat all the difficulties. So, yeah, it's basically the same thing, just a lot shorter. Awesome, like, it's a good DLC as well. I finished it mostly at night, didn't I? Yeah, I remember these 1, 2, 3 a.m. coming home after work, like just making progress on it when I was working nights. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it. I like DMC. It was definitely worth playing, and I'd play it again for sure. Borderlands 2. Holy God, how long did this take me? Completed the mission, my first gun. Okay, so that's probably the first trophy, almost certainly. And it took me 5 months. Yeah, it looks like 5 months. And that is, like, when I say 5 months, like, I mean, that's almost 5 months of constant playing. Because in 2014, that's pretty much all I was doing. So I definitely like. I think I had other games interspliced between these. Like I wasn't just playing Borderlands every single day for 5 months, but I definitely it definitely took me a long time to finish it. I love this game. Like I love Borderlands. I had a friend who didn't like Borderlands like at all, and I was like, "What the hell's wrong with you, man? It's an amazing game. It's really, really great." But yeah, I don't know. I like it. These DLCs are relatively easy from memory. Let me have a look at them. Yeah. This one was very like a lot larger, but it was, I don't know. It's just all these DLCs were really good and really fun, and the game itself is really fun. And the great thing is if you play it on Borderlands the Handsome Collection, because this is on the Vita and the PS3, the Handsome Collection is much better. It runs at 60 frames. It's really smooth. I hope to play this one day again, the PS4 version that is, but that day has yet to come. Hopefully sometime in the future we'll play this. But yeah, it's I like Borderlands 2. Borderlands 1, to be honest, I think is actually harder. I actually bought Borderlands 1 on the PC many years ago, and eventually, again many years ago, I played it again to try and beat it, and I could not for the life of me beat one of the DLCs. It was the arena one. I think it's Mad Moxie's one, but Mad Moxie seems to be in here somewhere. Collected 10 pictures of Moxie and Campaign of Courage. It might be that one. I think it was like Mad Moxie's Arena or something. That was hard. Like I just could never beat it. And I was playing on PC, so I had like perfect accuracy, you know, because the mouse gives you just so much more accuracy. Even though I'm pretty damn good with the thumbsticks. I don't know. I couldn't beat it. So Borderlands 2, in my opinion, was easier to complete than Borderlands 1. But luckily I don't have Borderlands 1 on my profile. I don't even know if I'd ever put it there, for fear of, you know, not being able to do it. Mousecraft, cool little puzzle game with mice. Don't think this one took me that long, right? Yeah, 2 days. Really fun, quite a lot of levels. Like here we go, 80 levels, earn 80 golden cogs by completing all 80 levels with a perfect score. Doesn't take that long. Fun little game to do. Nothing much more to be said about it. Batman Arkham City. A lot of people love this game, and I definitely like all the Batman games. When Asylum came out, you know, it was just such a different, look how long ago I did that, 2011. That's insane. Yeah, when Asylum came out, you know, and it was the first time that we'd really seen like a proper Batman game, and not a proper Batman, like I don't want to say a proper Batman game, but it had such a good combat system that so many people liked, and it became like, you know, the norm. Like you have it kind of I can't remember if Asylum was first or Assassin's Creed 1 or 2 was first. Probably Assassin's Creed 1 or 2 was before Asylum, but I can't quite remember. But yeah, like it sort of gave, well, it gave influence, or it got inspiration from those games. It definitely inspired stuff like Shadow of Mordor, from what I've seen and heard. Even so much to say as like something like For Honor, the sort of the combat system there, of essentially it's like scissors paper rock, or Junkin, or rock paper scissors, or what else is it called? Rochambeau, I think that's another name for it. Yeah. But it's, I mean, City is such a big game. Asylum is a very big game as well. Some people love Asylum better than City, and I think I have to say I'm one of those. I don't know why, but I love, almost in a way, I love the claustrophobia of Asylum. It's such a great game, and City is definitely incredible as well, but Asylum, I don't know, it does it for me. Perfect Night Day 2. Complete every challenge in Arkham City. Main story, side missions, upgrades, collectibles, New Game Plus, and Riddler's Revenge as Batman. So I think for this one, you basically have to beat the game on New Game Plus and do all those things that it says as well. So there's quite a lot to do for that trophy. Was that the last one? 10, 11, 2011? Yeah, it looks like it. 948. It was like the second last trophy, probably. Here's another one. Perfect free flow. Didn't get that. 9 foot. Oh yeah, have 12 murder estates with the calendar man. That's right. This one you need a guide for because you have to. I think you had to play the game on certain days, but then basically, if you didn't want to wait, you had to like change the clock on your PlayStation 3 so that it was that specific day, and you had to go to Calendar Man, and then you have to do it on 12 different days. I can't remember what days they were, but it probably relates to something like the comics, or Calendar Man himself. You had to visit him multiple times in order to get that trophy. So that was pretty tough. And then DLC, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look at that. 4 years later. 4 years later, Nightwing. And these are so painful. Like, look at this. So, what was it? Catwoman DLC? The earliest one was the 29th of the 7th. Robin DLC took me 3 days after that. And then Nightwing was also pretty much around the same time. Oh, I did. Okay. I did everything quicker than I expected. Some of these were so tough. I think it was Robin's one. Robin or Nightwing. One of them was really hard. And I tried looking up some guides for it on YouTube, but this guy had like put a guide up that was essentially like a perfect run of it, and it was so hard to follow because it was so hard to replicate what he was doing, even in like a confined space as those like challenges are. Yeah, it was, it's good that I finished it, which was nice. God of War Ascension. God of War is such a great game. If you've never played a God of War game, I think it's definitely worth a play. It's fun. It's like basically mindless. You can just spam buttons and get through the game. It's really, really, really good. I don't remember anything about Ascension at all because I don't know anything about all 3 games. I vaguely remember what they look like. But we're getting a new God of War pretty soon, actually. What is it? April 1st? So April Fool's Day today. So like in literally 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks away for another God of War game. And hopefully this new God of War, I don't know, I haven't seen too much of it, but it's looking more like a Tomb Raider-esque type experience than a God of War experience. But at the same time, I think it is time for a change because they have done the same thing so many times. And even though that thing is very good, and I think a lot of people liked it, when it was announced at E3 however many years ago, and compared to what it looks like now and actually seeing the gameplay, it makes me a little bit scared of it, because they strayed so far away from what they originally had. But I still think it's going to be really great. So, here's to hoping that turns out really good. I know I'll be buying it and probably playing it for myself. And yeah, I hope it's really good, but we'll see. Limbo, excellent game, really, really, really excellent game. It has these little Easter eggs. Basically, these are all the trophies for it. So you have to find these eggs in the game. If you've never played Limbo before, it's 100% worth playing. It's so good, and these ones I would go so far as to say try to do it without using a guide. The 2 that are the hardest is complete the game in 1 sitting with 5 or less deaths, and I think it's just that one. Yeah, that is a hard trophy. This one here, complete the game in 1 sitting with 5 or less deaths. That requires you to play the game 2 or 3 times to get pretty good at it. And then you can go through it and pretty much, you know where all the traps are, you know what to do to progress, and you can finally get it. It takes literally an hour to speedrun it, probably less even, to get the speedrun right. And again, don't use it, I know I'm showing them all here, but you probably won't remember these, but try and work them out on your own because it's really fun. I think a lot of these are originally hidden trophies, which kind of sucks because they should give you at least the text on the bottom, which doesn't really help that much. But yeah, it's a fun game, definitely a worthwhile play. And Watch Dogs. Let's talk about Watch Dogs before we finish up. Watch Dogs, I like it. I think I remember liking it a lot. It's been 3 years since I played it. Almost 4 years since I played it, because we're getting closer to May and June. Yeah, it's been almost 4 years since I played it. I remember liking it. I think that its only downside was that the motivation wasn't as strong. You know, it's like it's your niece, so it's like, yeah, it's your sibling's daughter, which is still pretty important. Like, I feel like would be pretty important to people. But I don't know, something about it felt off. I never got to play Watch Dogs 2, so I don't know how much better they did that. I feel like I think I've been told that they did a better job, but maybe it was still lacking something. But I think overall it was a good game. It's a bit scary as well, like in terms of like how much people rely on technology. There's that kind of vision of, I can't remember the main character's name, but there's that image of him like constantly standing there in his long trench coat, looking at his phone and using his phone to like access and hack and all that kind of stuff. So there is that kind of like fear to it. But it's yeah, it's a good game. Bad Blood was a decent DLC to be added on top of it as well. If you've got nothing else to play, Watch Dogs, decent play. All right, we've got to leave it at that for that one. So that's episode 5 now. And yeah, we'll keep going. Hopefully I can do this in 2 more episodes. Still got so many to go, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, thanks for watching. I'm Ultima456. You're the Ultimates. See you next time.